are you originally from Lancaster?
I am.
Okay.
My parents were married in Greece.
Okay.
And came here.
Okay.
And then I was born and raised here. Born and then back and forth. The summers I spent in Greece.
Oh, that's nice.
So that was pretty amazing.
Greece
I was lucky.
Greece is on my wife's bucket list because my father-in-law was in the Navy and he went there too. He loved it.
You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, yeah.
It's amazing, yeah.
Cool. So you had issues with anxiety when you were younger, or was this like something
all throughout? When I was younger, I guess, you know, it started probably from what I remember in high school and then continued, and I still deal with it. But primarily out of high school, I'd say like when I had my first son, there were just some really intense few years then.
Okay.
First and second child. And
for someone that doesn't know what anxiety is, what does that look like? How does it manifest in you?
So, I mean, for me, it was definitely a struggle because I keep things in eternally, definitely. So while I try to keep it all together, or I tried to keep it all together on the outside, I would kind of come home and then you crumble a little bit. Yeah, so it wasn't necessarily any specific thing. It just whether I was in maybe social situations, even though I did well, it was a lot for me to handle. And then just all the demands, I guess. It's a lot. I mean, for me, I had to learn a lot of self-love because I think there was a lot of doubt, criticism, patterns of thought that just was breaking me down.
Yeah.
So it was learning a whole new perspective and learning how to treat myself.
Okay.
So yeah, very debilitating at times. So
did there come a point in your life where you're like, this is just too much, I gotta figure out, how did that come about?
So a few years after I had my second son, it was very overwhelming. I felt like it almost led into depression. And again, a lot I brought on myself. So it's funny how that works, but I decided that I had to do something about it. And the first thing I did was see my doctor. I love my doctor, and we did go through medications and things like that, and that just didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Didn't work for it. I'm sure it works for some people. It just did not work for me. It didn't work for my body or my spirit or anything. Just didn't jive. So I had to go a different route.
Okay. And what was that route?
So I decided, I was always kind of active throughout my life, but you know, we all go in spurts, right?
Yeah, tell me about it.
It's hard to be dedicated. So I decided to go to my husband's gym, and just the movement and just the routine, simple routine of starting to go daily or a few times a week, I'm sure it wasn't daily at first, really helped me, almost brought a little life in me, kind of like a release almost. Because of course we know, who doesn't feel better when you leave the gym, you know? So it started that way. And then I remember being in a gym, and I was just on a treadmill or doing my own thing, little things. I didn't really know what I was doing. And I looked in the exercise room, the group exercise room. I had never taken a class before. And I saw a bunch of women with barbells. And I was like, whoa, what the hell is this? So, of course, I was too intimidated to do it on my own, and I called a friend, and she took me to my first class. And it was more so the group of women, there were some men, the group of people that really took it to the next level for me.
Okay.
This sense of support and no judgment.
What class was that? What were you?
It was a Les Mills Bodypump class.
Oh, okay.
And then I just ran with that. I stuck with that for a while, it just gave me confidence to take other classes, to meet other people, and then you start getting to realize, you know, these people were open and, like I said, non-judgmental. And it was really nice to realize some people would share their stories a little bit, but you weren't alone.
Did the anxiety like fade, or was it almost like a light switch, or how did that?
It faded. It's always there, but it definitely faded. I knew this was going to be one of my tools.
Okay.
You know, this was a tool for me to ease it. And it started there, and I just kind of kept taking it.
What other tools do you use now?
So now I instruct it. I instruct not as much that class as I instruct a yoga type class.
Okay.
Same idea. It's called Bodyflow. Lots of yoga, lots of stretching, lots of meditation.
What attracted you to yoga?
Just that, in the sense of I needed something to, all the weights, all of that, I love it all, and I love the energy and everything. I needed to bring it down a notch. And scientifically, meditation has helped us for years and years. We just don't necessarily do enough of it, but I've learned to have kind of a meditative state in a lot of stuff. When I get up and I instruct a class, I am zoned out, like in my own world.
Yeah.
It's different things like that where I try, and being present. Okay. You know, it teaches you lessons like that. Like, be present, be in the moment. We're always worrying about the future or the past, or it's not helping us. It's not helping. It's just bringing on my anxiety, right? If I do that.
Right.
So it's helped me a lot in that sense.
Great.
Yeah.
Where do you have these classes at?
Presently, I am at the Hempfield Rec.
Okay.
And I also sometimes do private classes.
Is that your full-time gig? Is that what you do?
And I'm a mom.
Okay, yeah. That's the full-time gig, right?
Right. That's for sure 2 full-time gigs. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've wrapped myself into. I've also gotten certified in Reiki. I'm a Reiki practitioner, personal trainer. I also teach about essential oils. That's another thing that I brought into my life. That's a big one when it came to using alternative methods, because I would never suggest for someone to not take their medicine, but like I said, for me it didn't work. Essential oils really helped me in that sense.
Now, how does your family fit into this whole lifestyle? Are your kids doing the yoga and stuff too?
They do.
Yeah?
Awesome. I did a yoga in the park a couple weeks ago. My 8-year-old came with me and did the whole class. He's super into it. He helps me practice. It's good for them to grow up with an alternative methods of belly aches or headaches or, I've got a middle schooler now, and we already are working on the anxiety.
Yeah. And going back to that anxiety, there had to have been some kind of hurdle. In people's lives, there must be a hurdle that they have to get over. How do you suggest they do that?
I think really reflecting on your thoughts. Our minds are so powerful, and our thoughts can either destroy us or you know, make us or break us, really. So we really have to look at our perspective, maybe change our perspective. I mean, whether it's finding, you know, a counselor to speak to, or really changing how you treat yourself. Like, it really starts with that. You know, just somehow to, because I see it all the time. I see so many people come to me, because I'm a personal trainer too, so I do a lot of, everything goes hand in hand.
Okay, yeah.
So I decided to be a certified personal trainer because I like that one-on-one. But I see it a lot where there's not that confidence, or you know, losing that sense of self, and we really have to start giving ourselves more credit for things.
That's good advice. Was there a piece of advice that you got from a doctor or a friend or an instructor that helped you?
I did. I mean, I have a few very good, I have a good support system, great parents. My mom really is a wise woman and gives me great advice all the time, but sometimes you don't listen to your mom so easily, right? So,
Who, me?
But
If my
no,
mom's
not
watching,
you.
she's gonna know that's the truth.
No, but yeah, I mean, I think what really changed was when because I was running around doing all these things, like, oh, I can do this to help me. Oh, this oil will help me. Oh, this. But I really had to self-reflect. It was really what it was. I mean, I really needed to sit down and accountability and figure out, well, I'm not going to get anywhere if I keep putting myself down. So, yeah, I mean, that's really what turned it around for me. And I always you have to stick to it. I mean, I still do it. I was nervous for this. I was like, what do I think I'm going to do? Well, sure, you know, I can get through a conversation.
Good, yep, you are. What do you like to do for leisure activities other than what we talked about?
Work out all the time. Yeah. Well, I do a lot with my kid. I have a almost 13-year-old and an 8-year-old, so it's a lot about soccer and school.
Okay.
I have wonderful friends where it usually is like physical activities, you know. We like to be outside. We like to do yoga outside and hike and things like that. So,
now, you traveled to Greece when you were younger. Do you get back now?
I'm going next summer for the first time in 15 years, and I'm taking my children along. Hopefully my husband too, but definitely the children are coming along.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to go back. It's been a while, but I remember it, you know, everything. So yeah, 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 it's beautiful. You definitely should go.